have they put in? How many years have they spent? So building your career is one of the surest ways to increase your income and to make your money. And many times your first degree may not be what is going to determine your career. When you're planning for the future, one of the most critical financial decisions that you need to make is choosing or determining your career path. For those of you who are in college, the question I would want to ask, to what extent did you decide to join the career that you are in? To what extent? Or was it influenced by other external factors, maybe your parents or even other people? Assess your personal interests, your abilities, and your goals. This is a question that I get many people asking me. Many people ask me, how do I determine my career choice? What career do I get into? That's a critical question, especially at this age. I'm going to give you a few questions that will help you in determining your career of choice. You may need further information or further guidance from maybe a career coach, or in school. For those who are in school, if you have a career master or mistress, you may get more, but this is just to guide you. So some of the questions you may need to ask: what topics of study did I enjoy most in school? What topics of study did I enjoy most in school? What skills do you do well? What do you feel to be your most distinguishing skill or area of specialty? Is it cooking? Is it art? Is it music? What is it? And the topics we are talking about, the subject. Is it mathematics? Is it biology? Is it chemistry? I personally loved biology and chemistry a lot. That is what influenced my choice of a career in pharmacy. What are your interests away from school or from work? What you like doing? Because the passion, you can actually use your passion for profit. And what you like doing can help you decide on the career path that you would like to take. You may want to describe a situation in which you helped organize the work for others. Maybe it's at school, maybe it's at home. Was there a time that you organized people to do something and it succeeded and people complimented you for it? Describe a situation in which you worked with a team to achieve a goal. You worked with a team, maybe your siblings, maybe your friends, maybe in the neighborhood, and you achieved something. Some people are very good in environmental matters, and you find that maybe in school they get into a team and they're able to ensure that they have a clean and healthy environment. That shows you the career path, the direction you might want to take. Maybe it's environmental science, maybe it's something else. Describe the kind of job that you might like. Are you a person who likes talking? Like personally, I like to speak. So that means that my career or my passion is towards speaking. Are you somebody who likes to sit in an office? You like to be quiet? You like to work with numbers? Maybe accounting may work for you. So these are just a guide, as I said, to guide you in terms of directing your career path. Now, let's talk about the art of budgeting. So you have made your decisions, you have made your money, now you have the money. Even before you have the money, you need to budget for the money. What is a budget really? A personal budget is a financial plan that allocates future income towards expenses, savings, and debt repayment. So you plan before or even as you get the money. It's sad that there are people who have worked for many years, they are working, but they don't have a budget. They operate without a budget. Effective money management starts with a clear budget. If you don't have a clear budget, preferably written down, it's very difficult for you to manage your money well, okay? Financial goals should be realistic, specific, and they should have a time frame, and they should imply an action to be taken. I personally work with financial goals of 6 months. I plan in the next 6 months, I'm going to buy this. And then I work with another 6 months. Some people like to work with a year, 2, 3 years, 5 years, but I personally find it a very long time to work with that. What are your educational, social, financial, family, health, physical, and recreational goals? I want you to think, and maybe let's interact on the chat. Do you have any educational goals, like the grade you would like to score? What are your social goals? Is it showing up more for your friends? Financial goals, how much would you like to save? Family goals, would you like to have maybe 6 dinners or 6 meals with your family every day. Even you as a young person coming from a family, you can actually help the family achieve a goal of being closer. What about health and physical? Are you thinking of being more fit, maybe losing some weight? What are your recreational goals? Now, let's talk about debit cards. So you have the money, you have budgeted for the money. How do you manage the money? A debit card, I thought it's important for us to learn because of the benefits. And I know, like here in Kenya, we call them ATM cards. And for those of you who are in college, I believe most of you have ATM cards, running bank accounts. You have ATM cards or debit cards. It's a banking card that is enhanced with an ATM and a point of sale features. And it's used for purchases in shops, in stores, supermarkets. It can actually be used. It allows you to withdraw funds without writing a check. It's very convenient. Identification is written down or it's verified. So that means it minimizes the chances of you losing the money. It eliminates the need to carry a checkbook and a lot of cash, like when you're traveling. Like now, as I said, I'm out of town for a work engagement, and because I have my ATM card and I even use my online banking, I didn't need to carry a lot of money. I don't need to carry money for paying for my hotel and my expenses because I can use my debit card or even my online banking. Now, it's useful for tracking purchases because you're able to track how you're spending your money through the debit card. It also does not deplete the available cash in your wallet, so you can have some money in your wallet, but then you use the debit card to run other expenses. It can be used out of town, as I said, and of course reduces the possibility of loss or theft. It's not a loan, so there's no interest that is accrued on purchases. So let's talk about saving and investing. Saving and investing, small amounts saved and invested can easily grow into larger sums of money. That is the power of compounding. However, for you to be able to enjoy the benefits of saving, you must begin to save. Saving and investing are cornerstones of financial management. There is no way you can manage your money well without saving and investing. As a student, you need to be very clear to establish and maintain a budget, set clear, specific financial goals, and understand all of their investment options. Investing takes saving one step further in a person's financial plan. So you can save the money, but after you have saved the money, you actually need to invest, because when you invest, you're able to get interest. And through the power of compounding, over time, you're able to make more and more money. I would like to know if you have any questions or any comments. Liz, maybe you can help me with the chat. Any questions or comments that have been shared? Oh, thank you so much. So by the time you're asking this question, I know that you have probably, most likely, if you're like most of us, the money wounds have been passed to you. So I took you through, but I can just summarize on the process of dealing with money wounds. First of all, you ask yourself, when somebody talks about money, what are the feelings? What are the emotions that you have? What do you feel about it? Do you feel shame? Do you feel fear? Do you feel embarrassment? Do you struggle paying your debts or paying for services provided? Do you find yourself bargaining a lot? Or do you find yourself, when you have money, you have salary, we call it salary esteem. You have money esteem. You feel so good when you have the money, then you spend, and then you're broke. If you struggle with any of this, and most likely it's because of the way the people who raised you responded towards money. What do you feel when you see a rich person, quote unquote, when you see somebody who is wealthy? They are driving a big car, they live in a big house, maybe they are dressed very well. What do you think about that person? If you think negatively, most likely you have money wounds. So you write down the areas you're struggling. Then you decide to forgive intentionally, unconditionally, the people that wounded you. Whether they ask for forgiveness or not, you forgive them. Once you forgive them, then you decide to teach yourself a healthy relationship with money. And how you teach yourself is, for example, if some of your self-sabotaging behaviors were lack of a budget, plan to make a budget. If it's about you have the budget, but you don't follow the budget, plan to do the hard work of following the budget. If it's about you getting money and spending all of it, as a matter of fact, even you as a student with your pocket money, you can actually save. You can actually save your pocket money. I know that the percentages that people save differ. 10% is the bare minimum. 10% is the bare minimum. If you can save more, the better. And don't say that you're not saving because you don't have enough money, okay? So then you learn to save. Even when you're having pocket money, you need to learn to save. Because if you cannot save out of $1, out of 100 shillings, you're not likely to save even if you got 100,000. Because saving is a mindset. It's not about how much money you have, but it's a mindset. So you decide to teach yourself a healthy relationship with money, regardless of it's a hand up. Okay, thank you. That's a good question. There are many possible investment options depending on where you are, okay? One that I want to share, and I know we have somebody who will answer your questions more, who is more versed in the area of finances, because personally I'm in the psychology of money, but I can share one of the low risk ways of saving for a student, of investing for a student. You can consider money market funds. I started doing this when I was a student, and I can say that the power of compounding worked very well for me. Money market mutual fund, money market funds is whereby you invest your money and you don't run the risk of losing your investment, the money that you have put in there. The return is modest, may not be so high, because the higher the risk, the higher the returns. So the return is modest, and you can invest as little as a percentage of what you have. It doesn't require so much, and then you can even do by the use of your mobile phone. I am hesitating giving the figure, because if I give, I'll be giving the figure from here in Kenya, and I know we have participants from across, yeah? So you research, you get a relatively stable company. You can even get reviews. I personally got reviews when I was a student from my friends, and I was able to invest, and every month I was getting some interest. And it was compounding. And I just want to tell you that by the time I was completing university, I had saved quite a substantial amount of money, and I was able to put up for my mother the first stone house, brick. Yeah, it's brick. The first brick house that she has, and it's the house that she's still living in up to now. I've done some improvement, but she's still living in that house about 20 or so years later. So that is just one of the idea, but I know that there are people who can give you can get more information on that. Thank you. Now, some of the investments that I have used that I've seen getting long term, I have some young people in their 20s who have ventured into real estate. They are low income houses that are constructed, be it by the government or even other developers. I know like one young person who bought his first house at 21, and I have some young people in their 20s in a neighboring country who have ventured into studio apartments, one-bedroom apartments, and now they are renting their they are running the apartments as Airbnb or as furnished apartments, and they are doing very well in their 20s. Yeah, thank you. So that is one of the ideas that I'm having in mind. I know some also who have got into land. They buy a piece of land and then they subdivide it and they sell. They get into a group or a chama, as we call it in Kenya, an investment club, and they do that. And I know that the options are many, but real estate is one of them that I've seen. I've also seen stocks. I personally started getting into the stock market when I started working over 20 years ago. And I have some shares in some companies. I get dividends every year, and some of them have since appreciated. Of course, there's also a level of risk. You can do your research and minimize the risk, but just know that the greater the returns, the greater the risk. The beauty is that at your age, you have a high risk appetite. I mean, you have an opportunity to recover. And again, I say that I'm giving this advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm giving it from the perspective of the psychology of money and also from my experience. I know you can get more information from a financial advisor or even the other presenter. Thank you. Okay, thanks, Liz. Do we have any other? I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of information on cryptocurrency, so I may not adequately respond to that question. Yeah, maybe Liz, I can comment on the first part without getting into crypto. Let me comment on the first part. The first part of how you can venture without an ID, you can use your parents' ID. And I know even when you don't have an ID, you can open a bank account. All my children have bank accounts, even before 18. And I know like my son has been making money. He just turned 18 this month. But before 18, he has been making money through online. He has some online ventures that he has been making money, and when an ID is required, he uses my ID. Then sometimes if they require to send money to my account, but again, I'm helping him run his account, and the money is sent to his account. So I know he has made money without an ID. Fortunately, he just turned 18, so he's going to have an ID when he completes his examinations next week, and he can now run it. But then you can get a parent or a caregiver or a sibling who has an ID, and they can help you to make money through that. And let me comment something, Liz, before we go far, because we are talking about the psychology of money. I want to say that money is the lowest form of trust. When we talk about relationships and money is the lowest form of trust. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you cannot trust them with money, you have no business being in a relationship with them. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you can't trust them with money, you can't trust them around your debit card, your credit card, and you cannot trust them with your PIN, you have no business being in a relationship. Because if somebody cannot be trusted with money, they cannot be trusted with anything else. Like where you begin trust is where money begins. So sometimes I've had people saying, oh, he's a really cool guy. She's a really cute chick. She's so good. She's interesting. But then she doesn't seem to be keeping money. She doesn't seem to be holding money. Anytime I give her money, she overspends and she cannot account for it. That's the wrong person for you to be with. That person has an unhealthy relationship with money and something needs to heal. Thank you. I hope that's clear. Okay. So I want to comment on the one for Annie and Liz, as you said, for those who want to ask deeper questions when it comes to investing, I'm kindly requesting that you join the next presenter who is in the area of finance. So for this one, I will respond more when it comes to relationship, your psychological health, your wellness, and money. Let me comment on what Anne has asked, and not trying to limit herself to only one source of income. I feel like it will not keep me for long. That's very true, Annie. I normally recommend people to get into three to five sources of income. I personally have about 4 sources of income. Because when you are in one, in case one is not predictable, you will struggle. Like now, currently, one is my former employment, which for some reason I've not gotten my salary for November, but I'm having the other side hustles where I'm making money from. So when you depend on one source of income, you are likely to have a moment of struggle, moment of anxiety when things are not working well. Maybe there's downsizing, maybe for some reason, things are not working at your workplace. And the beauty is that currently with online, you can have you can even have passive income. There's what we call passive income, something that can be generating for you money. You can begin a business. You look and you see an opportunity, you start a business. So yes, I strongly want to encourage that even when you're working, if you're working as you get to work, even when you have 8 to 5, you still have time after 5 o'clock. You still have time over the weekend. You can turn your passion into profit. Are you good at cooking? I know people who cook chapatis, they cook mandazis, buns, and they sell. I know people who make juices and they supply. Like my daughter is in university and she told me she's doing home economics, home science. She told me that what she does, she goes and buys spices. She buys healthy spices wholesale, she packages, and she sells to the university students. I know those who bake and they sell cake for break among their friends. So yes, I totally encourage you, Annie, get into as many income streams as possible so that you have a fallback option. For questions on money market, unit trust, to delve deeper into crypto and Bitcoin or whatever, please join the next presenter. I know they will be able to explain in detail. Thank you. Mm. Oh, yeah, so same question. I know the next presenter might be able to respond to that better. Yeah, Liz, I can also make a comment on retirement. I'm so glad that this is a young person, Martin, talking about retirement. The challenge is that many people think that they are too young to think about retirement. At the moment you begin, you become aware that you need money to spend, you need to think about retirement. Many people who retire, they get mental health issues, their quality of life goes very low, even leading to physical illness because they have not prepared adequately for retirement. And now we are seeing people retiring when they're relatively young and relatively strong. And they need quite a good. It's very hard on their families, on their children who are beginning to stabilize, who are beginning also to take care of their own families, who are getting families. So it's important for you to actually think about retirement. And Liz, thank you for going to sustain them beyond retirement. One a practice that I have seen among retirees is that they retire, then they use their benefits to start a business. And businesses struggle a lot, especially the first few years. Some of them, a lot of businesses even end. So somebody begins and they lose their retirement benefit, and it becomes very difficult for them to survive afterwards because they have no money. So it's critically important to think about retirement as early as possible. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Liz. If you can hear me. Or one thing I know is that there are a lot of cons online, especially targeting young, hungry investors, not only young, but any. And I may not know about this, but perhaps somebody else can have information on that. I don't have information on that one, but I know there are a lot of cons online. Yeah. Thank you. Especially that one of the anxiety. It's normal for a person to be anxious when they're beginning a venture. Anytime you're getting into a venture, you are anxious. Whether it's starting a family, getting into a relationship, starting a business, even beginning a new job, you are likely to struggle with anxiety or to experience anxiety. Anxiety just tells you that you're normal. Anxiety tells you that you're normal. You feel the fear, you feel anxious, but you do it anyway. And how you can go about this is by asking yourself, what is the worst that can happen? Let's give an example, like you want to begin a business of, you have 20,000 Kenya shillings. That's about a business with it. You ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that I may lose the money, isn't it? So you begin from that place and you say, okay, if I lost the money, what will I do? I will forgive myself. I will purpose to work harder so that I can make the money. I will have learned lessons. For every business that fails, that is a lesson that is learned. A mistake becomes a mistake when you have not learned from it. For every business that fails, or rather maybe that doesn't thrive, for every relationship that ends, there's a lesson that you learn. So you will learn a lesson on how to do business better. If you start a business and the business fails, you're not the same as somebody who never started the business in the first place. So think about the worst case scenario, prepare for the worst case scenario, and then go ahead. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. And while you're at it, give it your all. Be diligent, learn people skills. Business is about people skills. And be diligent, learn people skills, and be disciplined. Learn the skill of delayed gratification. You want to have something today, but then you tell yourself, no, whatever profit I'm getting, I'm reinvesting back in the business. Yeah, and also partnership, having connections. I don't mean that you get into a partnership with somebody in business, but partnering with people who can support you in the business as you also support them. This helps quite a lot. You can even join groups. I have groups I have joined where we run similar businesses. So we support each other when there's opportunities. Sometimes you may find that I have more clients. I don't have space for those clients. I'm able to share my client with other people. And when I share my client with them, we agree on a percentage. We say, I can refer my client and you can give me 10%. We just agree that agreement. So get into partnerships with trusted people. You can get into support groups. You encourage one another. That's how you deal with anxiety. Support groups really, really help. When somebody tells you, oh, I also felt the same, but things got better for me over time. That motivates and it encourages you. Great. Okay. Yes, please. So as a student, I believe you get pocket money. You begin by saving a percentage of the pocket money that you get. When I was a student, I used to receive a loan from the Higher Education Loans Board here in Kenya. And the loan I used to get, the allocation per day for my use was about 150 Kenya shillings, slightly more than $1, 150 Kenya shillings per day. I used to spend 50 shillings per day for my meals, and then I save 100 shillings. So every day I was saving 100 shillings. By the time I completed university, I had saved quite some money. So you can begin by saving your pocket money. You can begin by running errands. You can run errands for people and they pay you. If their jobs or their chores, there's work that your parents ordinarily pay somebody to do. If it's cleaning, if it's cleaning the car, maybe washing the car, the errands. I know, like when my daughter completed high school, we didn't have a domestic worker, so she worked and I used to pay at the end of the month. So you can do some of those errands and you can get the money. Then you can begin small. Like you can tell people in your neighborhood or among you in your church that I can clean for you, I can clean your yard and you can pay me. You can buy maybe some fruits and you tell them, I have fruits I'm selling, I can deliver fruits. You can prepare a meal, you can maybe take care of children, you can tuition, you can tutor children. If you're good in mathematics, you're good in English, you're good in whatever subject, you can do tuition. The options are very many. That way you can raise the money for a business. I hope that's clear. Okay, first of all, what I can say is that you need to minimize the taking of loans as much as you can. And if you're taking a loan, please don't take it for consumables. Don't take it to buy food, to buy clothes, to buy gadgets. If you're taking a loan, take it for an investment. Like you can take a loan maybe to buy a house, to buy land or something like, or even for school fees, because it's something that is going to make you better. So it's something that is going to make you better. So don't take a loan for things that you're going to use. And when you have taken a loan, pay it within the soonest time possible. Take the shortest time possible to pay the loan. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead. I guess, yeah, that was it on the loan. Okay, I have seen people, now that means if it's a student, maybe they have M-Shwari. I've seen people who save on the mobile money app. I've seen people who save there. I want to encourage a bank account, because if you say you save, you keep the money somewhere where you can access it, you are likely to use it. So when you keep it further from you, where it's a bit difficult to access it, it makes it easier for the money to remain there. So I've seen sometimes people saving through the mobile apps. Yeah, that's true.